Hey guys, it's Rak, and welcome back to a very special episode of Minefields Tutorials. In this episode, I'm going to show you the way that I did my mob trap in both my single player and my multiplayer games. I'm going to be using regular terms because I'm not fancy, and I'm going to show you how me, a regular noob, figured out and built a mob trap so that anyone should be able to do it. So first thing we do is we go out in the world and we find ourselves a spawner that we want to use for our mob trap. Generally you want to find something close to your home, close to the surface, somewhere where you have easy access to it. This is my test world where I build a lot of my test structures, and I didn't want to have to go find one, so what I did is I spawned one. Unfortunately you spawn them, I think at the moment they're only pigs. I might be wrong, I'm not sure. And I built this little room to act as our dungeon. Most dungeons are not this big. Most dungeons will probably cut off about here, right? Which is totally fine. So I want to take you through the steps necessary to begin and craft your very own mob trap. Okay, first thing that we need to do is, so as you can see, this trap is floating. Generally the level that it's standing on is full of mossy cobble. I always dig it up. Either way, you want this thing floating about one high, just like this. The next thing you want to do is you want to decide which direction you want your mobs to come out. So the way that I have it set up is that our mobs are going to flow this way, and we're going to be killing them over here. Now, you don't have to do it this way. You can send them in any direction you like. All you'd have to do is take this channel that you have dug down the middle, right, and just change it. Let's say you want them to go this way, we can have them go this way. It doesn't really matter. As long as, you know, you build your channel in the direction you want them to go, you can build it any way you want. So we're going to do this, and what you want to do is you want to dig out a 2 deep channel directly on the line underneath your spawner. I generally like to limit the size of the room that I build. I like it to be 4 on each side of the spawner. You can make it bigger, it doesn't really matter, I just find it easier to work with. The thing you have to do with your dimensions is, what you do need, however, for this design, is you need this area to be 7 wide. As you can see, one block, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Maybe it's 8. Let me check. Let me double check. I'm going to use a different kind of wood as my double check. Ooh, let's do like this. Okay. 1 type of wood. 2 types of wood. Let's be smarter than this. I'm smarter than this, guys. Alright, so we are at 2, okay, 8, okay, that's what I meant. 8 wide. The reason is because water will flow 8, but it won't flow over, and that's what we want. We want the water to flow to the edge, so that anything that spawns in this area here will land in the water, just like so, and it gets pushed over the edge. Now what's spawning here is whatever spawner you find. It could be zombies, it could be skeletons. This trap works only for those 2. It will not work for spiders because spiders take more less fall damage. So as you can see, what you can do is you can dig out the wall here, whatever you want, right? And you can do this. Or if you don't want to do all that digging, what you also could do is let's say you could leave the wall here, just like so, and just dig out room just for the water. Right, so I'll do this, and then we'll have room for just the water from here to flow underneath. So it doesn't really matter, but I personally, oftentimes I like to dig it out. Sometimes I'll dig 7 out and leave just 1, but just remember, it does not matter. As long as the water is flowing like this, covering the whole thing to the middle, you're good to go. Now we've pushed everything into this channel. Now we need to continue to push them. So what we do is we go, so we want them to go that way. So we stand on this end and we put 1 more bucket of water here. See, and we get perfect, it'll push them this way. Now there's a couple of ways of things you can do to keep them flowing further. One thing you could do is you could dig out this water block here and then just have them keep going. I used to do that, but it is a little bit less efficient than this. So let's see. The way that I like to do it now is you take a stairs, take a sign, and you take another bucket of water. Now, if you take a stairs here, a sign here, I think I'm messing this up. Yes, I'm messing this up. So hold on, let me just hold on just 1 second. Let me double check, and I'll be right back. All right, sorry about that. Figured out exactly what I was doing. Okay, so yeah, so what you do is, in order to get them to keep flowing, and flowing quite easily, is you place one sign, one stair, and just like this, and they'll flow right over the edge, and they should be picked up and sent on their merry way, I believe. So now you can do this a couple times, you can do this once, it doesn't really matter, you can do it as many times as you want. Sign here, stair here, bucket of water here, and on we go. Okay, now one of the keys to your mob trap is maximizing the number of spawns that you can get. And the reason I left this open is to show you exactly how this works. As you can see right now, the spawner is spinning. That means that I'm within range of it and it is active, and therefore, because it's active, it will be spawning mobs. If I weren't in creative, it should be spitting out pigs. I don't really know how these pig spawners work, but let's pretend that it works. Now, if you see here, it's still spinning. If I take a step back, it's now sort of glitching out. That means that right here on this block, I am no longer in range to activate it. However, what that also means is that if my mobs are landing on this block, they will not be in range, and therefore they won't mob cap this area. So I want to be standing, when I'm killing them, I want to be standing here, activating the spawner, but have the mobs be here, not activating the spawner. Now, what you want to also do is get your mobs out of range of the spawner as fast as possible. So when we're making our drop, we want the mobs to literally pass underneath here, pass where they're going to land, and then work their way up, so that they're out of range of the spawner for as long as possible. So that's why we have it like this. The mobs should flow. I hope that I'm doing this right. I'm going to double check for you again, you know, before I put this out, just to make sure I didn't screw this up, but I'm pretty sure I got that right. Alright, and now once you get to this point, I'm going to make it out of glass from here on, so that you can see what I'm doing. Now we can work on sending our mobs up. Now, one of the awesome things about water is it will sit on top of things like signs and ladders. Now, I use signs, I always have. I think that you can use ladders just as easily, so I'm going to alternate. And anything else that water will sit on top of will work for this. So right now, I'm putting a sign here, right? I can now place water above, let's close this in as we're working. I can now place water above that sign, and we'll have it sit here. Now mobs, the way they work, that one came in. The way they work is once they get to the edge, they bounce. And as soon as they hit this water, they'll start moving their way up. So what you want to do now is you want to map out the fall. So what I like to do is I'll take from here, right? This block is the same as this one. If they land here, this is a one block, you know, we're now a 1 block drop, and we'll move over here. A 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22. This from here to here is a 22 block drop, which is the perfect number of blocks and just what you want them to fall. So what I like to do next is I will build myself my 22 block little cylinder that they're gonna make their way up. So this can be made out of any material you want. I'm just using glass so it's so I can, you know, you can see exactly what I'm doing. You know, in one of my maps I've used glass, the other I've used stone bricks, I've used cobble, I've used all sorts of stuff. And now what you want to do is just alternate signs and or ladders with buckets of water. So let's put a, oh, the sign is not going, so let's use signs, right? Sign, water, sign, water, sign, water, all the way up. So let's, as you can see, this is working quite nicely. Oop, not place that one in the correct place because of creative mode craziness. Actually worked out just fine. You do this all the way to the top. And all in all, it should be 11 signs, or like I think it's like 11 signs and 10 buckets of water because of the bottom. Right, and now we're at the top, which is beautiful. And now you want to set up your drop. So remember, you want your mobs flowing down off of this and splatting right here. So let's go ahead, and now what we do is we build up the top. And what I like to do is, because sometimes this is just enough, other times it's not. So what I'd like to do is I like to build myself right here a little extra spot where I can now drop a bucket of water to push the mobs this way over the edge. Oh, that didn't work. Let's get our glass out. Let's see. You know what? Let's see what happens here. Okay, perfect. See it flowing down. Now we need to, so we place an extra block of water at the top. And now what we need to do is we want to make it so that our mobs will fall just the right distance. Now, how do we do that? We don't want this water here, so we'll place another sign right here, as you can see at the top. And it should stop the water flow in just a second if I can figure out what I'm forgetting. Seems that the water is taking on a life of its own. Alright, there we go. Now it's disappearing the way it should. Okay. So, okay. Let's recap where we were. Mobs flow through. They sort of get sucked up this pipe just because of the way mobs behave. I'll spawn a mob and I'll show you exactly how it works. Spawns to the top. Very nice. Gets to the top, gets pushed, and then splat right down here, exactly where we want. So what I like to do, well, again, for this part, is I like to cover it up so that the mob can't accidentally fall any other place. Let's do this. This is the joys of being in creative mode. I generally will build these towers first before I do pretty much anything else on the spawner. I'll map out the dig. I'll map out exactly where I'm going with it. And alright, let's finish up. Oh, come on. I don't do a lot of creative mode work, which is why I'm a little bit unaccustomed to it. I usually do all of my work in survival. Even stuff where I'm trying to figure out what I want to do, that's always in survival. Okay, and now what we want to always have is something is messed up. Okay, I know what I did wrong, which is why this was making no sense. We actually want this block to be one higher, which means that we want our drop to land there. Like this, which means we need to make our drop one higher at the top. So let's do that really quickly. Sorry for that. Come on. Now it makes more sense. Remember when I was saying something didn't make sense to me? Now it makes much more sense. Oh. There we go. Now everything's making sense to me. I was wondering what was going on with that at the top. Perfect. Pushes them over the edge. Splat. Okay. Now, the reason that for this is your spot where you're standing. The reason this is so effective is not only do the mobs fall this far. Ooh, no. Not only do the mobs fall this far, but in theory, they shouldn't be able to touch you from here. I believe in certain corners, like right here, they can technically shoot you. But now you can be punching them here, and they will not be able to hit you, which is beautiful. So leave yourselves a beautiful. We'll build ourselves a nice little glass floor, so we can watch them go past. Although they might burn. And what I would suggest doing is just over the area where the mobs are going to be going down the hole. You don't really need it anywhere else. Especially, but if you're doing glass like we are, the mobs will burn in certain spaces. So place one little block there, and now that covers the light shaft. And you don't have to worry about it anymore. Okay, so we've pretty much completed our mob trap. Let's go ahead inside. Let's spawn ourselves a mob, just for, you know, and obviously you want to keep mob traps as dark as possible. It's not going to work now for me just because of, you know, the aspects of survival or creative mode. Although I'm going to leave creative mode and just see what happens. Let's see. Let's slash game. I think this is game. Is it space? No, game mode 0. Okay, we're in regular mode. Options. I'm normal difficulty. You should be spawning something, pig. Okay, I don't know if this is gonna work. So let's go back, and I'll just spawn some the old-fashioned way. Alright, spawn. We want to spawn ourselves a skeleton and a zombie. See, skeleton gets spawned, lands in the pool, gets pushed along. Oh, see, I messed something up, so I'll be right back. Give me 1 second. Let me figure this out. I'm back, sorry. I just, stupid me, I have to kill that last block, and there we go. I was like, something doesn't look right. I'm going to do it here. Okay, so for those of you who are wondering what I just did, is instead of being 8, I actually needed that water here to flow over the edge. So then pushes them up. Right, so then the mob goes down here, gets caught in the trap. As you can see, beautifully the skeleton is flowing its way up, up, up. It doesn't suffocate because it gets air pockets every other one. Hello, Mr. Skeleton. We're watching you. You're our test subject. Goes up to the top, gets pushed down the hole, falls, and now here we are standing. We punch it, and it dies. Oh, creeper. You would even spawn you, but you're going to work just as well as the others. Now, the way that this works is when mobs fall, they'll generally have between 1 and 3 punches left. You don't need to use a sword, so you don't need to waste their ability. But there's an even easier way of dealing with them. But you know what, let's skeleton. Let's see you guys go. Up you guys go. Mr. Creeper is on his way up. Okay, so while these guys are falling, I wanted to give you a recap. See, and look, this guy, I'm right here. He cannot see me. I want to give you a recap. Okay, inside, water, 8 blocks away, flowing to the edge but not over. To the edge but not over. Water pushes them in. Okay, this is the part that I always mess up, so I'm going to double show you. I'm going to show it to you again. Water comes to the edge. If it's the edge but not over, it won't work. It has to come over the edge, then goes under a sign, on top of, and then a new. This is new water here, right here in this spot. This is new water. See, that water goes like this. It stops because of the stairs. New water here continues the push. So over the edge, sign, stairs, up. Okay. 22 blocks. This is where they're landing. So the drop needs to be 22 blocks. Alternating water sign, water sign, water sign, water sign, water sign. Right? Cover up. If you want to use glass, cover up the top so they don't burn. Unnecessary, but I know if you're not using glass, but if you are, and I love it with glass, then look, you just punch them and they die. Free experience, free stuff. Now, there are easier ways of dealing with them. Let's It's got a new batch of mobs, and I'm gonna show you why. Ooh, some of these are gonna die. See how they're hopping? So some of these are gonna die because of that. See now. See all these ones that took fire damage, they're gonna survive. They're not gonna survive. That's the problem. But okay, so let's try. Let's put some more in, and I'm gonna show you now. This is all great and dandy, but it gets tiresome sitting here punching them all. So for our last hurrah here is you take one splash potion of healing, and I'm gonna show you why. Let's wait till our last of our friends gets up. Again, as you can see, pretty simple design. We're at make sure you're at your perfect distance from your spawner. See right here, we're at our perfect distance. As we stand here, spawner's active. Where they are, spawner's not. Let him go up, let him fall down. Alright, when the last of our mobs is going up now, they get a little log jam sometimes. So you gotta wait for them. Here you go, guys. Here we are. Let's go over the edge. You two, last guys. We can do it. And now, if you look, I'm level 6. All of our guys are here. We can take a splash potion of healing. Boom! They are all low enough to kill with one quick splash potion. And we're up to level 19. Now, you can go AFK outside of one of these spawners. I've gone to level 30 3 times in a row. 30, quickly enchanted something while the experience was coming in. 3 times I've been able to enchant stuff at level 30. So, as long as you don't lag out, there's a lot you can do with this. Again, another quick recap. This should be closed because you want this place dark as possible. 8 blocks to push in. Push them towards the direction you want. Have the water go over the edge. Sign stairs, new water. Sign stairs, new water. To the edge. Sign water, all the way up. 22 blocks high. Remember, the tower's not 22 blocks high. You want the drop 22 blocks for the mobs. Alright, let's go. Have them go over the edge. 22 blocks drop. Have them sitting here with 1 block in their face so they can't move. See? Can't move. See, this way they'll just come out. They'll be a little hurt, but they'll come out. So you want to make sure that, they can't move. Just like that. You can leave yourself places to stand. You can do whatever. There's a lot of options of what you want to do. Punch, punch, punch. And my favorite thing is always throwing the splash potion of healing at them. Again, I'd like to thank you guys so much for watching. If you like this video, hit that like, subscribe, more to come. If you have any questions on this build, anything that I can make even simpler, in more simple terms, please feel free to comment, send me a private message, whatever you like. I'd be happy to answer any questions you have. I'll answer one quick question that I know I get a lot is, do mobs spawn in water? The answer to that question is no. A mob will not randomly spawn in the water. However, a mob from a spawner doesn't actually spawn in the water, but it spawns from the spawner itself and it lands in the water. So this water design, even though there's no land to land on, mobs will spawn. A random mob won't spawn. Like if this was just a dark room, totally darkened off room, right? And there was no water, random mobs would spawn in here. So in this design, they won't. But the spawner works differently. So yes, mobs will spawn in here, even though it's all completely engulfed in water. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you guys later.